Thanks for joining us here at Wild Patch Homestead. My name is Steph, and along with my husband Tim and our 3 boys, we decided to purchase an abandoned farm down in southwest Victoria. We are really passionate about self-sufficient living, so we really enjoy growing our own organic vegetables and fruits and raising our own meat and hunting for it as well. Obviously, that all takes time, and considering we're at a brand new property, we have a lot of work to do. We do have really large vegetable gardens going in, but in the meantime, before we can get that started, we've decided to start growing vegetables out the front in the northern facing side of the property. So here we're just putting in some winter greens. Everything's pretty stunted. I mean, winter is pretty cold and it's not the greatest time to be growing outdoors. But for us, this is what we've got and we're just making the most of what we have. We like to share every week what we've been up to. We do live quite a slow-paced life, but we just thought it'd be really fun to share that on YouTube. If you're interested in following along, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow and supports our family. This week, I'm putting in a new garden bed out the front of the house, and then I'm gonna take you into the kitchen and show you a little bit of what I get up to in there. And Tim brings a surprise home, which is going to make our lives so much easier down here on the farm. And I also have a surprise coming with a gift from my mum. Thanks, Pepper. All right, I'm going to put some seeds in. The germination rate has been pretty poor over there, and the soil is just from the property, so we don't really know much about it. And it was near the house, so probably, Pepper, careful. It wouldn't have been fertilised with the cow manure, with the cattle on it, because they couldn't access it. So we think it's pretty nutrient poor over there, and I am working on getting that improved. But in the meantime, we thought we'd just get a couple of bags of compost. I think all up it was like $11 for a couple of bags. I've grabbed mushroom compost and ironically cow manure compost with a bit of peat in it to try and get some aeration in there. So I'm going to do more greens. This one's got a lid on it, so I can actually cover it, and hopefully it will just help bring that temperature up and get the germination rate going. So usually this table's really good for greens. Kaiu's put some holes in the base of it for me, because last time I used this back at our old house, it filled up with water, fell over because there's no drainage holes in it. So this was just an Aldi buy, pretty affordable. Obviously not the most stable of tables, so we'll just see how it goes really. Everything's kind of an experiment at this place, but I grabbed some fresh seeds just because my germination rates have been so poor over there, except for the kale and the peas, which were from my old garden. So we're going to plant some spinach beet. This is a really good mix between spinach and silver beet. This one's really prolific, and we've just found we really like it. So we use it in loads of different things, and I use it just like spinach, whereas we're not so keen on that really strong, harsh flavour of silver beet. So if we had to choose, we'll choose spinach beet. Yeah. They're quite a big seed. Next I've got some butter crunch lettuce. I'm just going to put the lettuce down this end. They're much smaller seeds than the spinach. As we water that in, it'll like push some of the seeds down too. Now, none of my chives or spring onions or anything in the other garden came up, so I do want to get a variety of those. It's a little bit today. So I've got blood red spring onions, just some chives. I sometimes do some seed swap, so they might even be from my old garden actually, because that's my writing. and just some really old spring onions seeds. I don't even know if they'll work, so we'll get those ones in the ground before I worry about the others. This is so old, I'm just going to use it up, this spring onion packet. And that's probably why my germination rates are so low in that bed as well. There we go. It's kind of good to use up old packets. And I've got other packets of newer spring onions, so I'm not missing out, that's for sure. So these are really nice. These are the blood red. I'm not sure if you can see that. Anyway. Put some chives in next. And I have some bok choy, so I'm just going to pop that in here. And hopefully that takes off okay as well. Now, so I've put some spring onions down here, some lettuce here, and I'm just going to do a couple of rows of radishes. I've got radishes over there, but yeah, hopefully they'll do a bit better over this side. Usually radishes grow super fast, and these are just taking ages. Troublemakers. That's why this garden is all covered. Now see, I had this spare cover sat over there. I don't know how good it'll be. It's all broken. Like, it's really, really, really old. I just kind of feel like everything's stunted over here. So I thought if I at least did it over some of that lettuce, we might have a bit better luck. One of the chickens has been on and off sitting on this nest of eggs for maybe 2 days, but she's barely on it at all now, so I've just decided to collect all the eggs. I really was hoping that she would like really start sitting and get broody, but she's quite young. She's only 6 months old, so I'm not really too surprised. But this is only, I think today would be day 4. That I haven't collected eggs because I just thought I'd see how she goes. Might have to do some lemon butter or something. Ooh. There we go. Oh, that's really good. So come spring, I reckon she'll get ready then. I mean, it is winter, it's an odd time for the chickens to go broody, so I'm hoping by spring I'll have at least 2, maybe at least 1 go broody. And I've got some more chickens that we're picking up, or Tim's picking up from my mum. So, because my mum breeds Wyandottes, and so I'm very lucky. And I've got some newbies arriving in the next couple of days. And yeah, it's good because the other flock, like, they're all integrated now. The pullets are a bit older and they're fine, so they can all just come in here together, and then on the other side of the pen we'll put the new ones. But anyway, it was a bit of a trial and error to see if she would properly sit. She's chosen not to. It's all good. I make bread a couple of times a week, and I usually make 2 loaves or 1 loaf and a bunch of hamburger buns. Today I am making a no-knead loaf, and I thought I'd bring you along because it's super duper easy. I don't even measure anything, I just chuck the ingredients all in a bowl. But basically I use around 1 kilo of plain flour. I don't use anything fancy, I just use plain white Aldi flour.
I then chuck in a couple of good pinches of salt. You'll be able to work out from making your own loaves of bread whether you need more salt or less. So it's trial and error. I then add about a tablespoon roughly of yeast, and I do add a bit of sugar, but you don't have to. Sometimes I forget and it doesn't make any difference, because in the end you're going to just mix that all together, and I will add some warm water and milk. The milk already has got sugar in it, so that kind of helps activate that yeast anyway. I also add in on occasion my sourdough starter, just for funsies, but it's like the discard, so there's excess there anyway, and I don't want to throw it out. I may as well use it, and it's good for you. So that's another option if you have one of those as well. But I also add some oil, and you could add an egg if you wanted to as well. It just makes it really nice and light and fluffy with the milk and the egg, but I don't usually do an egg. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. It depends on how many I have, and I know with an egg shortage, it's not always very practical. There's no fancy tools involved. I scored this bowl at an op shop, so yeah, I didn't pay much for it all, and I like that it had a lid, so that's why I got it. I use a butter knife to mix it all together. The consistency is not really too important. You can have it a bit more wet than what I have it here. You can add a bit more water, you can add less, but the point is you just want it so it's kind of like a sloppy mess. But yeah, don't go crazy about it. The reason I'm showing you all of this is so that you can see texturally what it kind of looks like, but it's going to work out to be bread regardless, so don't worry too much. At the moment, during winter, our house is really cold because we have no insulation at all. And so I let that rise for quite a few hours. And while I was doing that today, I decided to make a big bulk lot of meatballs because I had mince that was going to get a bit long in the tooth. So used it all up and I made a bulk lot of meatballs. I was able to cook them up for dinner for the boys and I, and the rest of them I put into the freezer. But you can just add whatever vegetables you have on hand. It's a really good way to clean out the fridge. I just chucked in onion, zucchini, carrot, heap of different herbs and spices. So I had like Italian herbs, I've got garlic, ginger, just a big variety. Now back to the bread. The oven I chuck on 260 degrees Celsius. I basically crank it up as high as it will go, and I've already got my pots in there. So for this one, I've got a cast iron pot, and I just use like a glass saucepan that I had on hand. But yeah, I throw those into the oven that's preheating. Because I was filming, I forgot to flour my paper, but don't stress, it didn't stick. So if you forget to, don't even worry about it. But yeah, I split that into 2 loaves, and then they're kind of a bit smaller and a bit more manageable for us. But yeah, I then throw it into the oven that's already been preheated for about 25 minutes. And then I take the lids off if they've got lids on them. If you don't, again, don't worry. And then I put it in for like maybe another 10 minutes just to get the top nice and brown. I remember when I was learning how to make bread and I had a lot of bread fails and I was really nervous and I was reading all these different recipes and trying different things. But then I kind of got the hang of it and realized that it's not such a big deal. And I think it's really hard to read recipes when it comes to baking bread because it really depends on whether your yeast is still good, the temperature in your house, your oven, like everyone's oven is different as well. And so seasonally it changes, and that's why I wanted to do this video to show you the consistency. It just makes it a little bit easier for people, I think, to understand visually rather than reading a recipe. Got the meatballs that we made and just some pasta to go with it for dinner. This is how the bread turns out. So this is a couple of days old now, this is all that's left. But it's really nice and soft.
I do find the milk helps do that. So you can also add an egg if you wanted to, but it just helps with the fluffiness. Anyway, it's been delicious, and it's just super quick, easy, no need loaf of bread. Alright, Tim has already let the chickens out, like the big chickens, which they're now known as, because we've got some newbies in here. Look out, Smokey. Oh, they're still a bit scared. Tim's back from the Sunraysia area again, and he brought home a present from my mum. So my mum has been starting up breeding Wyandottes chickens, and we have just purchased 2 purebreds. They're gorgeous hens. And then we've got a couple of little pullets. I've just got like a little rooster and a hen, and they're crossbred between a Wyandotte and one of the leghorns that I have here. So they should be not too bad of a layer, hopefully. Or well, the hen. The rooster's just to keep her company because they're only 7 weeks old. So that's our little situation. This little bossy boots down here, Angel, eating their food. I mean, she's got so much food. She's quite dominant, so she'll just be taking over what she can. They're super friendly, so I can just go in there and pick them up. But the fact that they're cleaning themselves, even the little ones are at the moment, even though it's hard to see through that wire, but it's a good sign that they're comfortable enough. So I've got to train them to the bucket feeder, so that's one of my priorities. Hello, darlings. She probably wants to... Oh, she can't lay her egg because Smokey's in there. So this is the hen that I was like, maybe she's broody. It's so dark in that catcher, but she lays in there for ages, and then she gets up and buggers off the rest of the day, doesn't sit on them at night. Hey, cuties. He's mostly black. He's got a few little speckles on him. I love how ratty they look at this, eh? Can you see the bronze in her feathers? It's definitely not as pronounced as these girls. But, anyway, hopefully she's a nice little crossbreed. This setup is really temporary. It was the old woodshed. We split it in 2 when we first got our first lot of chickens. And now we've split it into 3 just because these girls here are 12 weeks old and the ones at the back are 7 weeks old. I don't think it'll take long for these 2 to integrate with the bigger ones. I'll leave them in there for a bit and then they'll start free ranging, and that really helps integrate everyone super quickly. But yeah, so Pepper, please stop eating the chicken poo. Dogs are disgusting, honestly. So gross. And you know what? They never clean it up off the pathways. It's always in the areas that you don't need it. But yeah, anyways, that's... He's gonna tell her off. Not that she understands, because she's silly. But yep, so this is actually working out really well as just a temporary situation. A friend of ours has kindly lended us a really wonderful piece of machinery that's going to help massively to get this property up to like how we want it. So this is the new addition for now. Tim's even managed to strap all sorts of things down to this trailer. We've got a bathtub that he grabbed from my parents' place because we need a bunch of bathtubs for our worm farm setup that we're going to be doing, because I think we're probably going to do about 3 worm farms in tubs. He's bought our old barbecue, which will be nice because then people can come and visit and we can actually cook up a big barbie, which would be good. But yeah, massive deal to us. This is going to help hugely. This orchard area has got lots of holes in it, and as you can see, it's really all over the place. I'd love to get that kind of started so we can plant out these trees. And we just don't know what we're going to find, because there's a lot of pits like this where the old farmer has just buried rubbish. We have pulled out heaps of wire and barbed wire out of this pit. Even a toilet, like, you just never know what you're gonna find. So I can see there's like divots where there's other pits that have been put in. But yeah, it'd be awesome to get this area set up and get a fence in to separate us from where the cattle are, so we can pull this fence down, because where those chicken pens are roughly is where, well, the old aviary I should say, that whole area there, we're gonna put a new 4-bay chicken, or not even a chicken coop, but just a big coop so I can have ducks and chickens. It'll be set further back, but we'll put a new fence line in. So we need all of this gone. And the digger will be able to help put in the post for the fence as well, because it's got the auger attachments. So our fence line, I have mentioned it in other videos. So basically this is I think it's 11.5 or 12 acre block, and it's subdivided. We haven't purchased the other title yet. I don't know, we have the opportunity to, but we have a lot on our hands with just this at the moment. So where those trees are, it runs right across up here, and then that gives us 4 acres. It's meant to be 3.5, but there's a whole section of land that's apparently it's really common in these areas from when the blocks were originally sorted out with the council plans for the farmers to still just put the fence lines right on the edge. So technically we have like 1/2 acre of council land, but the council don't care that it's fenced in on our side, so apparently it's really common. So we kind of scored an extra 1/2 acre. I guess that can turn around and bite you in the backside eventually, but we'll kind of take what we can get at the moment. I think we're just going to put trees and stuff down that side anyway, because yeah, it's very open here and we want more trees and just bring in that biodiversity as well. So we actually really want to bring in the koalas, and we're going to put like a row of blue gums, and it'll take 20 years, but it gives them another area as well. So in case there was any natural disasters or something, we just thought, well, we may as well help where we can. We've got the room, so why not? But yeah, oh, these chickens follow me everywhere. It's so funny. So we've definitely got plans to put that fence line in, even though there's no cattle here at the moment. That means that the bloke that usually runs the cattle, just to keep the pasture down, that was the deal, he can put them back out there then, so it'll be good. Kind of frees us all up. We can put all these fences, internal fences, down before we start putting our internal fences back up again, because we do need to still segregate specific paddocks, because we will end up with livestock ourselves. But at the moment we're more worried about the orchard, which will house our chickens and ducks. It's going to be a fully netted orchard, like I said, with a 4-bay coop system, a main area for our layers, an area for the pullets, and like a maternity ward for our broodies, and then a duck pen down one end. I did have a question though. I've been considering getting geese. So this will be my garden. It's probably going to be 1/2 acre of gardens. And I was thinking, because there's so much pasture here and they obviously feed off pasture, having geese with my vegetable garden. I'm getting really mixed reviews when I look at it online. I don't know. What do you think? I know ducks are good for the orchard because they'll help with the slug and snails. But yeah, any thoughts on geese in a vegetable garden, I would really appreciate the feedback on that. I will have a greenhouse to be able to grow seedlings, but I really do like in-ground gardening as well, so just like sowing them directly. And yeah, it will be the no dig garden style, so at the moment we're not going to have borders, just because of how large the gardens are. We just won't be doing that at this point in time. If we want to put like edging up later, we will. So they would be able to get into the gardens. I don't know. I just thought I'd see if anyone's done it, what your thoughts were. Yeah, it's something I really, really want to do, but I also want to eat the food that's in there and not have it trampled and eaten and ruined. So any feedback would be wonderful. Hey! The bees have settled in really good. This is a pretty happy, friendly hive as well, so we haven't really had any dramas with them. But it's good to see them all really content here, no dramas. It's good. So we have more beehives to pick up as well, which I think I've also mentioned previously. We have one really, really strong hive. It's at a friend's house, and we're going to split it into 2 flow hives so that they've got one and we've got one, because the box is pretty old. This one here is not too bad, but the one we have out there is getting, yeah, pretty old, so we want to change out the box anyway because it's buggered. Yeah, so eventually I think we'll have maybe 4 to 5 hives running. We just have not really had time to worry about the hives lately, and so beekeeping has been a very low priority. And yeah, this is what we're working with, but we'll get back on top of it soon. It'd be nice to have them all up and running again, at least 2 strong hives by spring, and put them both into flow hives just for the ease and convenience of it, really. But that's pretty much it for this week. Another slow one, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks guys, bye.